Welcome to MPUNGWE-PUNGWE YouTube channel. Subscribe for you to enjoy more of our videos anytime we upload.
Sincere and profound gratitude that you extended an invitation to me to appear before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament on the special inquiry into the proposed acquisition of Amarus Hotel by the Public Service Pension Trust Fund. It is not lost on me, Mr. Chairman, that in my capacity as a former Chief of Staff, but also as a law-abiding citizen of this country, I had to make sure that I come, I respond to the invitation. Because, Mr. Chairman, this provides me an opportunity to exercise my noble civic duty to the nation. And it is only when I'm available that I can clarify some of the issues that have been said out there concerning my engagement in this particular issue. Mr. Chairman, in an effort to address the economics of time management, but also to facilitate a focused engagement, I submitted the responses prior to the Clerk of Parliament, and it is my sincere hope that, Mr. Chairman, the response has been distributed and shared with the members. My presentation, Mr. Chairman, will follow the pattern as provided in your guidance to address only the substantive issues that you raised. But before I do so, Mr. Chairman, I wanted just to give a brief background of the meeting on the 6th March 2024, where I attended and where there was also the chaired by the Secretary of the President and Cabinet, and also the legal officer for OPC, and the two gentlemen from the Public Service Pension Fund. I think I should be very clear that there was Mr. Jim and also Mr. Boyd Hamela. It is important to indicate at the outset, Mr. Chairman, that I did not travel from Lilongwe to go to Mzuzu. I was in Mzuzu on my official assignments, because at that particular time, the 6th former head of state of this country, Dr. Lazarus Magathi Chakwera, was in Mzuzu conducting some official assignments. So in the first place, I was already in Mzuzu. I didn't travel from Lilongwe to Mzuzu. Secondly, I didn't know about this meeting, that there would be a meeting. It was only upon a call that I received from the Secretary to the President and the Cabinet to meet her at Mzuzu Hotel, just to brief her on issues about the engagement of HE in the northern region. It was at that after that meeting that I was given an invitation to attend the meeting, to listen in. I thought that perspective is important, Mr. Chairman, so that we are able to be on the same page, because I also have been following this both on the live television as well as on the social media. There is lots of stuff, but I thought I needed to clarify on this matter. As I said, Mr. Chairman, I need now to go to the substantive issues which were addressed to me in your letter. And if I go back to the invitation letter, you are looking for me to explain my presence and my interaction with officials connected to the transaction and the committee considers it necessary to engage me, especially to explain my role and involvement on the matter. Mr. Chairman, you gave direction in your letter by providing 5 substantive issues that I must address. Number 1 is to provide an explanation of my role in the meeting on 6th March and any instruction or guidance that I might have personally conveyed to the Public Service Pension Fund Trust. Number 2 is to submit copies of any communication exchanged by me with the Public Service Pension Trust Fund officials and Yusuf Investments Limited or its representatives to any of the following parties concerning the purchase of Amaris Hotel. Number 3 is to clarify the authority under which I participated in the discussion or directives relating to a commercial investment transaction undertaken by an autonomous pension fund. Number 4 is to explain any follow-up actions, if any, undertaken by myself after the 6th March 2024 meeting. And finally, number 5, is to provide copies of any documents or records in my possession concerning the Amaris Hotel transaction. Mr. Chairman, let me now begin to address those substantive issues. Number 1, to explain my role in the meeting of 6th March 2024 and any instructions that I might have given personally or conveyed to the Public Service Pension Trust Fund. Mr. Chairman, I want to confirm that I attended the meeting at Mzuzu Sunbed Hotel on 6 March 2024 at the express invitation of the Secretary to the President and the Cabinet, SPC, Ms. Colini Zamba, in my then capacity as Chief of Staff at State Residences. My role was limited to that of an attendee and observer, supporting the Office of the President and Cabinet, OPC, in its initiative to obtain an understanding of the Public Service Pension Trust Fund operations, governance, and investment portfolio. That's in terms of guidance or instructions. Mr. Chairman, I want to categorically indicate that I did not personally convey any instructions or guidance to the Public Service Pension Trust Fund or inquiries, observations, and actions emanated from the SPC and the one member of the OPC who was there represented, representing OPC collectively. Mr. Chairman, let me go to point number 2, where I really needed to, if I have any copies to submit to you and your committee chair, with me, with the Public Service Pension Trust Fund officials and Yusuf Investments Limited or its representative. I want to indicate very clearly, Mr. Chairman, that I did not exchange any written or verbal communication with Public Service Pension Trust Fund officials, Yusuf Investments Limited, or its representatives concerning the proposed purchase of Amaris Hotel. Consequently, there are no such documents to submit to the committee, Mr. Chairman. Number 3, Mr. Chairman, I am requested by the committee, through you, to clarify the authority under which I participated in the discussion or directive relating to commercial investment transaction undertaken by an autonomous pension fund. I participated solely as an invitee of the Office of the President and Cabinet supporting the SPC. The meeting was convened by OPC to discuss matters of public interest, namely the governance, stewardship, and protection of public Servants Pension Fund, which fall within the broad oversight remit of the Office of the President. No directives were issued by me personally. Any guidance given during the meeting was attributed to the OPC as an institution. The Public Service Pension Trust Fund remains an autonomous body, and my presence was not intended to interfere with its independent decision-making process. Mr. Chairman, let me come to point number 4, where I am requested by the committee through you to explain any follow-up actions undertaken by myself after the 6th meeting. I undertook no personal follow-up action whatsoever regarding the Amaris Hotel transactions. All actions arising from the meeting were assigned to the Public Service Pension Trust Fund for execution. In fact, Mr. Chairman, I have never attended any meeting except this meeting concerning the Amaris Hotel and whatever. Finally, Mr. Chairman, you are requesting me through, the committee is requesting me through you, Mr. Chairman, to provide copies of any documents or records in my possession concerning the Amaris Hotel transaction. I would want to indicate clearly, Mr. Chairman, and the Honorable Committee, that I hold no other correspondences, minutes, directives, agreements, or records that I personally issued or received in relation to the transaction. I trust that, Mr. Chairman, the above explanation or the explanation I've given will be very useful to the committee. I remain available for any further information or clarification that will be required before and during this session. I kindly thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prince Kapondang-Gaga, because of your submission. I will open this to honored members so that they can ask questions. But from the chair's desk, Mr. Kapondang-Gaga, you are one of smart and distinguished son of this country. Having noted that you didn't have any mandate to be in that committee in Mzuzu, what motivated you to remain in that committee and have an access to information on how the learning of the investment is going to happen when you had no rights whatsoever to be in that meeting? Maybe you may take that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the good question. Mr. Chairman, I would like to, first of all, indicate that it is my sincere belief that as a Chief of Staff at State Residences, this is one of the strategic senior positions in government. And technically, I do report to, I was reporting actually, I should say, to the Secretary to President and the Cabinet. Politically, I was reporting direct to the President. So, in any case, if my supervisor or my boss requests me to go into a meeting to listen in, I thought it was proper to accept and support my supervisor to be in that meeting. I also think that Chief of Staff is a leadership position and a senior post in any government. I want to believe that such a position is a position of leadership. And the instance of leadership is not in the title or the location or geographical location where the designation is placed. When there is any issue to do with government or public service, and you are in that position, and you have been consulted by your senior, your supervisor, to support, it is only proper, in my view, to go and support. Because leadership is about showing up or rising to the occasion to support government or support the leadership on strategic matters of national importance. When you look at the Public Service Pension Fund Trust, excuse me, in my view, this is a fund that government must get consent. And this is a fund where government contributes 10% of its money to the pensioners. I think it will be very strategic for government to be engaged, to be involved in this particular matter. So when the Secretary to the President and Cabinet briefed me and asked me to come to join her in a meeting and listen in, I thought it was proper for me to accept and listen to the issues that concern the public service, where government's interest is also represented. I think, Chair, that's how I would handle that question. That's my belief that I needed to accept the invitation of being an observer in a meeting of that nature. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, honour members. I see Zomba Sidenov. I see Mulanje West. I see Palombe Machemba, Chikwawa North. I see Chilazulu Nyungwe, in that order, please, for this round. I see you, the senior, and the rest. I see Mulanje Southeast. Let me start with Mulanje Southeast. Mulanje Southeast, please.
Honorable Chairperson, thank you for recognizing the people of Mulanje Southeast. Our stakeholder, I just wanted to find out, for the past 5 years, when you were holding the position of a Director of State Residences, how many meetings of MDAs did you ever attend? Thank you, Chairperson. I will have a follow-up to this.
Maybe I give you time, that controlling officer, the former controlling officer, maybe you can take that one. Then he is going to give you a follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank you, Mulanje Southeast, for the key question you have raised. How many meetings of MDAs did you ever attend? There are quite a number of meetings that I attended for MDAs. Even the meetings at OPC, we receive invitation when you are at State House. Sometimes I attend through delegation, sometimes I attended myself. A good example, meetings.
There's a point of order. Can you switch off the mic? What has gone out of order, Blunt Chiromon?
Is it in order for the former Chief of Staff to contradict himself? Because he said just a few minutes ago that he has never attended any such meetings, except for this one. It came out from his mouth. Now he's saying he has been invited to attend other MDM. I want him to come out very, very clear so we know we are on the same page.
Mr. Kabundamgaga, can you take that one? Blantyre Chilomoni, your point of order is sustained. So he wants comfort because within 10 minutes there are contradictory remarks. So can you come out clear? Over to you, controlling officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't think there is a contradictory remark. Mr. Blantyre Chilomoni, my point of saying I've never attended any meeting of the public or the purchase of the Amaryllis Hotel. I have never attended any meeting. The only meeting I attended that was talking about this was the 6th March 2024 meeting. I wanted to be very clear. I'm sorry if I had missed you on that one, and my sincere apologies for that. But that's what I was referring to. What Mulanje Southeast was asking.
Controlling officer, before you proceed, Blantyre Chilomoni, are you okay?
Yes, because it's very important that this only meeting of the pension fund that they are discussing a sale of Amaryllis Hotel is the only meeting that he happens to attend. Yes, so I was building my case from there. It's very important, Chair, for my questions when you give me the floor. Thank you.
Former controlling officer, Mr. Kampundangaga, you may wish also to clearly indicate the form of support that the then SPC wanted from you, because that will also guide, will help the committee to get to the final conclusion on this issue, so that we get to understand what sort of support. And that support, since you indicated that in that meeting you never spoke, you were very quiet, did you offer that support outside the room, or what happened? Thank you so much. You can take that one.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. What kind of support? I was requested to go into the meeting to also listen in. It was my expectation that after listening in, there will be follow-up meetings where I would be asked to contribute what I got from the meeting. But there hasn't been any such of those meetings. That's my understanding of the support, because I was thinking that after listening in, he would ask me my views and what are the take-home messages that I had from the meeting. So since it was a request from her, I thought it was solicited. I was expecting that there would be also a solicitation of follow-up meetings. So I didn't want to go and get involved providing unsolicited advice. Thank you, Chair.
Mulanje Southeast, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I'm assuming that my first question has been responded to, and I would want to ride on the interjection from my colleague from Blantyre Chilomoni. Honorable former controlling officer, you submitted to this honorable committee that you did not speak or contribute in the 6th March meeting because the Public Service Pension Fund was an autonomous body, in your own words, and you could not engage in affecting its independent decision-making. That's coming from you. And you were willing to go into subsequent meetings or follow-up meetings if invited by the then SPC. And you found that that was okay. But in this particular meeting, the first one, you said it wasn't okay for you to engage the Public Service Pension Fund because it was an autonomous body. Don't you see that as a contradiction? Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, Mulanje Southeast. Mr. Kampundangaga.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mulanje Southeast. I think I need to be very clear that the issue of autonomous body and my presence not intended to interfere in the independent decision-making process. I was just making a comment that, because the question is under, okay, the question is, let's see, number 3. Clarify the authority under which you participated in discussion or directives relating to a commercial investments transaction undertaken by an autonomous pension fund. So I'm saying that I participated solely by an invitee, as an invitee of the Office of the President and Cabinet supporting the SPC. The meeting was convened by OPC to discuss matters of public interest, namely the governance, stewardship, and protection of public servants' pension funds, which fall within the broad oversight remit of the Office of the President and the President. No directives were issued by me personally. Any guidance given during the meeting was attributed to OPC as an institution. The Public Service Pension Trust Fund remains an autonomous body, and my presence was not intended, my presence there was not intended to interfere with its decision-making process. Coming to the expectation, I think it's a legitimate expectation that when somebody invites you to a meeting to listen in, you would expect they will ask you, what did you get? The response to that may not necessarily refer to the issues of decision-making on the Amaryllis Hotel. I will give you an example. What I got from the meeting was that there was a need. Even through the deliberations you have had with different stakeholders, one key issue that is coming out strongly is the need for strengthening accountability framework of the Public Service Pension Trust Fund. I would have given that as my contribution, because for me, I didn't think that if I was asked by the then SPC, I would go to the details of whatever in the meeting. I would only provide lessons that I'm getting from that. So one of the lessons that I saw, and which, I mean, when you're going through the deliberations which this honorable committee has been having with its different stakeholders, you see that there is need to strengthen the accountability framework at both levels, governance and management. That's the sort of advice I could provide. I would not provide anything because the question is very clear what you want to get from me. It's about a proposed procurement of the Amaryllis Hotel. That one I couldn't. Because I was supposed to be in the meeting and listen to everything. But in terms of if asked to give advice, Mr. Chairman, I would shift my advice to focus on a particular emphasis where I think it doesn't touch anything to do with the hotel. Because you remember, as I raised, Mr. Chairman, I said that there were issues about operations, governance, and investment portfolio. Investment portfolio, that's where the issues of Amaryllis hotels and what have you could be discussed. But in terms of the governance and what have you, I could only observe, I could only see. I've been a CEO for 13 years for an institution. I've served as a chief of staff for 5 years. I've been in various boards. I've been the president of the chambers of commerce. So I know what issues are discussed in the board and how to sift the advice to provide. So I think, Mr. Chairman, I would say that my response to the addendum to Mulanje Southeast question would be answered in that manner. I would choose to what advice. Mr. Chairman, allow me to conclude what Mulanje Southeast asked earlier about what other meetings, MDA meetings, have you attended? There are several meetings that I've ever attended within the 5 years I've been at the state residences. For instance, when the president was making a pronouncement on the SMEs policy direction, there were several meetings that culminated into that policy direction. And I was invited by the then SPC, Mr. Zanga Chikos, before the Madam Zamba. We were part and parcel of the team that was developing that. When you are going to international trips, when the president is going for international trips, the SPC writes to different MDAs, and we happen to be one of them. We are requested to participate in those meetings. So as I said, there are many meetings I can mention, but Mr. Chairman, just to manage time, Mulanje Southeast, I think that's so far what I can give as examples of some meetings of MDAs I have ever attended in my capacity then as a former Chief of Staff. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Let me take Zomba City. North. Zomba City North.
Thank you, Chair. And through you, I want to ask the former Chief of Staff, after admitting that he attended the meeting, and also he mentioned in one of his submissions that he reports, he was supposed to be reporting to the then president, the former head of state. Did you inform the former head of state of what transpired at that particular meeting that you had attended? That's number one. And number two, in one of his submissions, he said, and I quote, the meeting was convened by the OPC to discuss matters of public interest, namely the governance, stewardship, and protection of public servants' pension funds. Are you aware that according to the trust deed for the pension fund, the OPC has no specific role to play in the management of the fund? Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Prince Kapondangaga, can you take those questions from Zomba City North? Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This meeting, I did not report to His Excellency, the President, because this is a meeting that was called by his own office, the Secretary, to the President and the Cabinet. So I wouldn't be the one, as a matter of order. It should be the Secretary to President and the Cabinet reporting that meeting to His Excellency. So it is my expectation that the meeting, which happened on 6th March 2024, the SPC, the Secretary to the President and Cabinet, may have informed the President. Thank you.
Vice Chair, Mulanje West.
Thank you, Chair, and all my seniors. The former Chief of Staff, are you telling this House that your invitation from the for the SPC was from the head of state? When you are saying, the then head of state, when you are saying that the Chief of Staff was the one who was supposed to report to the President? If yes or no, did you take leave when you were getting out of the office of the President as the Chief of Staff, meeting Chief Secretary? If you took leave, why are you saying that I was supposed to report to the President? And being an invitee or an observer, what did you say in this meeting? Knowing that you might not, I'm sure you know that you are not the first person appearing to this committee. Others also came. What did you say in this meeting? I'll follow up another question.
Mr. Kapondangaga, can you take those questions from the Vice Chair, Mulanje West?
Mr. Chairperson, let me respond to Mulanje West on the, did the President call for this meeting? I'm not saying the President called for the meeting, but the office, which is headed by the Secretary to the President and Cabinet, the Secretary sits in the office of the President and Cabinet and is the one that reports directly to the President on any substantive matters of that nature. In any case, this was not my meeting. I didn't have any invitation, formal invitation to this meeting. So it was not my responsibility to go and report on the meeting which I didn't have any I didn't have any responsibility over. I think that's my understanding. Number two, I didn't take leave because this meeting happened in the evening when we had knocked off. So this meeting started around 7. I didn't take leave because I had already taken leave that I'm going home. So I was going home. We were done with the assignments of the day. I never said any word in the meeting. My role was to listen. It was very clear. Thank you, Chair.
Vice Chair has a supplementary question, but yeah, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Knowing that your first responsibility is to report to the President. Suppose if somebody had to pass on in this meeting, you mean to say you couldn't be involved, knowing that you were just there invited by being an observer? And having asked you that, does it mean that being in the office of the President and the Chief of Staff, you were able to walk out anyhow without the knowledge of the President? And from this meeting, whom did you report, apart from the President that you didn't report? Did you have anybody else whom you told about what happened in this meeting? And I did ask to say, apart from being an observer, did you say anything else to this meeting, or you were just quiet of it was? But what pleases the SPC to invite you to attend to this meeting? Should we say whatever transpired in this meeting, you were part and parcel of it? If it was an issue of stealing money, did you steal together with the SPC? Despite that one, you didn't even report it to your then head of state. Maybe you're just thinking that you're home, yet you are not at home. Suppose some of the things happened this night, or this day, it was a night, this day where you met in Nzuzu, and you didn't report to the President. And somebody had to say, I've been stolen my money. Were you not to be part and parcel of it? And somebody also reported that we've seen in this room where you were, or the two who came, one passed on. Were you not to be involved in the death of the person who was supposed to be in that day, knowing that you were Chief of Staff, despite that you've been invited in each and every meeting of MDS, but being a Chief of Staff from the office of the President, from the house of the President, but you had to go to the office of the Chief Secretary to attend to a meeting of the transaction. If we are saying, if this office or me asking or telling you to say you were a part of this transaction, am I lying? What pleases you not to say, okay? But also when I heard you, you said you were invited to tell the Chief Secretary about your presence in Nzuzu, but also the welfare of the house or the office where you are working. After transacting or after discussing with the SPC about your office of a Chief of Staff, what pleased you, knowing that this is a government, yes, transaction where 10% is there? What pleases you to say I should remain and listen to the transaction, yet it was not even part of the work which you are supposed to do? Were there any, apart from being the Chief Secretary, if I may ask, the SPC, if I may ask, were there some personal business with her, apart from being the SPC and you, Chief of Staff? Were there any personal issues which we were discussing about that, which pleases you to say, I want to remain with this lady and discuss some of these transactions, and being from the office of the President? That's a very big office which you attend and which you wear, a very big office. And fearing the position which you had, that one, you are supposed to be sent by the President, and you were in this office without what type of responsibility were you doing, whereby the President was not even aware of what or any transaction which you are taking? Thank you so much. Come up with a follow-up question.
Thank you so much, Mulanje West, our Vice Chair tonight. Over to you, Mr. Kapunda Mkaga. Honourable members, I want us to engage. So we may not have to pick so many questions at once. Why? So that all the questions which are being posed are responded to, and you can come up with a follow-up question. Over to you. What has gone out of order, Zomba City North?
Just to remind you that I had posed 2 questions. He has answered 1, and there is 1 substantive question. Because from the first question that I asked, I think that's where the supplementary questions are emanating from.
Thank you so much, Zomba City North. This is the exact reason I'm saying we'll go one after another to avoid having a scenario where other questions haven't been responded to. Mr. Prince Kapondangaga, please respond to Mulanje West and make sure that you also handle the second question from Zomba City North. Over to you.
Mr. Chairman, let me thank Mulanje West for the questions. I think there have been so many, so if you forgive me if I would not pick, I will not remember some, but I will try my best to answer every question. But allow me, Mr. Chairperson, to start with the answering the second question from Zomba City North. The SPC, the Act says the SPC has no mandate to look into issues of management. I think, yes, the Act is like that, but government has overall responsibility. I would say that the independence can be absolute, can also be relative. A good example are the banks. The banks are private entities, but they are regulated by government because government is interested, because banks keep money for the citizens of the government. Similarly, when you look at the issues of the pension service, the Public Service Pension Trust Fund, it is to do with the pensions for the civil servants. It is to do with the contribution of 10% to the pension fund. In my view, this is not managing the pension fund, what the SPC is supposed to do. It is to provide oversight functions and report the same to the president. For instance, in the meetings you have been having, I think 2 days ago, I listened. I have been following these meetings. I listened. I got Mr. Chairman read a letter which came from the head of state as a statement that he's monitoring, he's supporting this. If government at that strategic level cannot be concerned with the matters that are happening in institutions of this nature that are quasi-private, quasi-government, then who else? Because people do expect that the president will provide oversight function through his office, using the agents or directly. So it is my expectation, Mr. Chairman, that much as the Act limits management affairs of the fund to the board and management, oversight, government oversight must be allowed. It is the same thing. I belong to the agriculture industry.
What has gone out of order, Blantyre Chiromon?
The former chief of staff has mentioned something to do with government oversight. Yet all along in his presentation, he said his role was just an observer. Are you confirming now that your role, much as we are an observer, was also to do with indirect, which you are saying is maybe absolute or not, or relative? Are you now saying that in this meeting, much as you are an observer, you could have changed and also provide some oversight?
Maybe we give him chance to respond to that one. As you respond to Blantyre Chiromoni, I would like to the former Chief of Staff to bring it to your attention that the Public Service Pension Trust Fund has a line ministry, which is the Ministry of Finance. When that invitation was extended to you, did it occur at any point that the Ministry of Finance was in the know about that engagement? Because ideally, the Ministry of Finance is the one which is supposed to provide that oversight role and to provide strategic guidance and at the same time policy direction. At that level, did you bring into the loop the Ministry of Finance? Over to you, former Chief of Staff.
Mr. Chairman, let me start responding. Giving a response to your question first. This is a meeting that is being invited by the OPC. SPC is the head of public service. In my view, if she wanted, which I cannot speak for her, I don't want to speculate. If that is an issue, it was supposed to be addressed by that office. Because me, I'm just coming in to listen. I've just been invited. As an observer, for that matter, I don't have any substantive interest to speak on those matters because my role was just to listen in. So I thought that is an issue which
I think you are misleading this committee. You know, are you aware that? Oh, sorry.
You're a senior member of the committee. You should know the proceedings. Blantyre Chiromoni, what is out of order?
Chair, your point was very clear and straightforward. Under the pensions trust deed, the government of Malawi as an employer is only represented by the Minister of Finance. Whatever you're saying here is not true, or is a misrepresentation of facts. As exactly what the chair said, and you keep mentioning the same, you keep contradicting yourself. The government of Malawi, according to the trust, I don't know if you have read the trust deed.
Other members, let's proceed in this way. Like I indicated, we exhaust, then we move to the next question. So this far, Mr. Kapondankaka, attend to those questions, then we'll proceed as per my guidance. Over to you.
Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying, maybe responding to Blantyre Chiromoni, I'm saying that I can not speculate on behalf of the SPC. Yes, so anything to do, whosoever was supposed to be in that meeting, I think it was under his powers. It was his meeting. Me, I was just an invited person to listen in. I thought that's a point which I was trying to clarify. Coming to Mulanje West, maybe before I go there, Chair, maybe I want to be less assured whether I have addressed the question number 2 for Zomba City North, because I want us to be systematic and very focused. So I want to make sure whether I have addressed that question, Mr. Chair.
Zomba City North, can you refresh the former Chief of Staff on your second question? Zomba City North, please.
Thank you, Chair. I was going through the submission that he had made earlier on, and I quote what he said, that the meeting was convened by the Office of the President and Cabinet to discuss matters of public interest namely the governance, stewardship, and protection of public servants' pension funds. So my question was, are you aware that according to the trustee deed for the pension fund, the OPC that convened this meeting has no specific role to play in the management of the fund? Are you aware about that? Indeed, if you're aware, why would you sit in a meeting where discussions are bordering about the management of the fund, which you are not supposed to intervene in the matters of the board of their fund?
Mr. Kabundangaga, please take that one.
Mr. Chairman, I wasn't aware to answer the question from Zomba City North. In any case, this meeting was called by OPC, so I wasn't aware to begin with. I accepted in the comfort that the government at times comes in when they want to understand operations of some strategic institutions, and they normally do that through the OPC's office. So one would expect that the SPC or the OPC would be better placed to why that meeting was convened when the Act states otherwise. So, Mr. Chairman, that's how I can respond to that. Oh, sorry.
Chakwera North.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Chairperson. The controlling officer, can you tell this committee on the action points that were assigned to the PSPTF for the execution during the meeting? Number one. Number two, the controlling officer, out of all the senior personnel in the government on that time, why only you were chosen to be part of this committee? What attracted the SPC to invite you to the committee, to this meeting? Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Prince Kabundangaga, because you have time and again indicated that you were just there to listen. So if you listen to the first question from Chakwera North, is in a way asking you to briefly give the committee what you listened, what was the strategic direction that you were providing. Because even in your response, you've indicated that at times the government wants to understand. But when you look at, as of March 2024, at that stage, you had been a controlling officer for State House for about 4 years. And the SPC had been, SPC appointed by the president then, had spent about 4 years in those controlling officer position. So what took so long for people to get to 4 years without understanding some of these and want to understand it after the operations after 4 years? You may take those controlling officer.
Thank you, Chair. But maybe before I proceed to respond to Chakwera North, I have not responded to the issues raised by Mulanje West because of the so many interjections that came in between. Would you allow me to?
Controlling officer, you can start with Mulanje West, then proceed with the other questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Mulanje West, you asked so many questions. If I don't maybe address some, you might, you may remind me if I've forgotten. To begin with, for my experience working with the the president, you are also a gatekeeper. There are issues that because the president is a very busy person, there are strategic matters that you need to bring to the fore of the president. And when there are some issues you think you can handle as your office, you serve the president better that way, because in any case, by virtue of choosing you to be in that office, you are an agent of the president. So there are matters that you think they don't have a strong bearing on decisions to be made by the president. That was the main reason that I had taken leave of the president, and what I was dealing with, I thought it's something that I could deal with at the technical level, because where the person I was meeting is a supervisor technically, not to me, that is not a political, a strategic politically. So that's why I thought that being called to attend to a meeting and being an observer would not necessarily mean that every detail I need to take to the president. I used my judgment in that manner. If it's an error, it's an error on judgment, not an error by choice that you don't want to. So that's the way I take it. If there was an issue of an extreme case, as you indicated, Mulanje West, Honorable Mulanje West, I think that is an extreme case. If there is a death occurrence, I think that's a special case. You treat it as case by case. So that would have gotten to the attention of the president. We thank God nothing of that sort happened. But if there was such a thing, for sure, you would report to the president. I would report to the president. The third one, you asked about my personal relationship. I don't hold any personal relationships when I'm at work. Personal relationships are done when I'm at home. So when I'm at work, I believe in being professional. So my relationship with the SPC has been professional, and it had always been so in that regard. I think that's what I can.
Welcome to MPUNGWE-PUNGWE YouTube channel. Subscribe for you to enjoy more of our videos anytime we upload.